Good afternoon, this is 4046. I never ever thought I'd make as many videos as I have. This is a milestone, I suppose, and it's video number 50 for many of you long-time viewers that have been watching my many videos on various different topics. I have found a niche, although from time to time I would like to talk about other things. I'd also like to do interviews with people I know talking about particular events or times in well, the 90s, for example, and share memories and explain about what happened and where we went, etc, etc, etc. For example, I haven't been to many places abroad, and for me, I've only been to places in Europe. Many of you probably have never, well, have been to many other such places. I mean, many places people I come across have been to the States and things like that. On the other hand, the States aren't exactly on the list, but I wouldn't say no to visiting the States. It's just the cost point is always a thing, and obviously, if I wanted to fly to Australia, it takes a long time. Just for example, the same as if I wanted to go to California in the US, that would take a fair amount of time as well. Regardless of that, I have been to many great places in Europe. Not everywhere. There are some places that I still wish to visit. I'd like to actually visit the Netherlands but using Eurostar, which I've never used yet because in my profession I get a discount on Eurostar. So just a little sort of bit of irrelevant information, if you like. I never thought, almost a year ago, that I would get this far, and I do thank you to the new subscriber who subscribed in my last video, as well as to all my existing subscribers. You are the reason I make videos and start to consider a little bit more about what I'm making the video about and what I'd like to impart to you guys. I did mention many months ago, but due to several factors, I haven't reached the end of it yet. Hoping to finish it today. Is the Babylon 5 book that I'm reading. I've got 2 copies of it, and once I have finished reading it, then I will send the extra copy I've got to the subscriber if you show interest, and I'll send it to you. It's not a problem, saves me space, but also it's a good way of recycling said book. I made an error. I bought 2 copies of the same book, and then they arrived in the post, and it then just came to a point of, well, I'm not going to send them back, so instead I will give it to one lucky subscriber, more or less the first one that replies in the comments, and then I'll do a DM and send me your postage information, and then I can send it to your good self if you so wish. I'm not one of those channels that wants to giveaways. As of yet, I haven't got any what's the word, sponsors at the moment. I can't, well, too small to have sponsors, because obviously the videos don't get to as many people as hopefully maybe at some later date they will do. Also, I've learnt a few things on the way. I do want to, as I've said a number of times, I do want to improve my videos, but I just want to find the right software to do so. I paid out for a brand new laptop last year, and unfortunately that is filling with a lot of Steam games at the moment. At this point I might have to buy another hard drive. Some of the classic games I've been playing recently, going back to some of the game videos, is Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. Also been playing Command & Conquer 3 and also Red Alert 3. And the most recent acquisition was the Westwood Collection. There keep being rumours that they're going to be remastering the series, but with the company in as much trouble, Electronic Arts or EA being as in much trouble as it is right now, I don't foresee that occurring, just due to the cost. I mean, the sad reality is Electronic Arts got rid of 5% of its staff this month, or late last month, and that's a company like that is not going to be spending money on remasters, or if they are going to do remasters, they're going to do them as cheaply as they possibly can. The only downside of them putting the entire catalogue of Command & Conquer hits on Steam is, yes, they are cheap. The only issue I have is that one of the Command & Conquer games, Generals, which I was looking forward to playing, Electronic Arts has left a problem with it. So hopefully Steam and Electronic Arts can get a patch or something sorted out so I can actually play Generals. I've played Generals before, and Generals is it's an enjoyable game. It's silly, but it's enjoyable. Zero Hour I never got, but Zero Hour has exactly the same issue. Everything else seems to work. It's even got Command & Conquer Renegade on there, which isn't a great FPS, but it's okay. I've also bought the original Dark Forces game, and I intend to have a playthrough of that, because back in 1995 when it came out, it was between that and Doom, and yes, Doom kind of won out, so it was very much back in the mid to late 90s, a Doom guy. Not saying Doom was the best game ever made, because it wasn't, but it set down many of the foundations for the first-person shooter genre. However, you could even go further back and say things like Wolfenstein, for example, which I also have, and its follow-up Spear of Destiny. They're both kind of started the genre off, possibly even earlier than that, Hover Tank, but it gets to a point where 16 colours is, it's just not nice, putting it basically as that. Also spent some money on lighting. I've also learned to play around with this camera a bit, so the contrast is a lot better now, so it doesn't look like I'm in a pitch black cave somewhere, which I'm glad that I started messing about with the settings, and they seem to work quite fine. Also, when summer arrives, because at the moment we've got spring weather and it's raining a lot more, I'm going to try to do some more videos outside, just to show a little bit more of where I live. On a side note, I don't know if you have where you are, and this is a mini rant. It's not something I don't like ranting, but I like to be constructive. But I visited Five Guys in my local area and was very disappointed. The price point was just felt like you were being extorted. The other point being is that the staff were pleasant, no fault of the staff whatsoever. I never blame the staff unless they've done something, and the staff have done nothing wrong in this particular case. They're the poor souls that have to work at these places to pay rents or live, whatever really. So they're not to blame, but I am surprised that Five Guys still exists. I've tried it twice and been disappointed twice. One of the worst points of contention for me personally is that they don't do any trays or anything like that. So when you eat in, you get a paper bag where they put the burger down the bottom and then they just pile a billion fries on top of it. And you just think, so if I ordered the large fries, would that come in a second bag? Because it's just insane. I don't see how such a model can exist. The burger was okay, the Cajun fries were fine, but a price point of over £20 is just feels like you're being extorted. I paid out of shock more than anything else. And I thought I'll give it a second try, and I've given it a second try, and I would have to concur that Five Guys is the glorified, well, like a glorified Wimpy, but with the extortionate price point to bear. It's a shame, because it goes, oh, we started off simple, we started off with Five Guys, we did this and this and this. I think, okay, that's fine. And then also the establishment, just a lot of self-congratulating stuff all over the walls about themselves, and as much as, okay, that's fine, it lacks soul. Five Guys has no soul. The Cajun fries were fine, but again, way too many. I mean, as I said, I had a regular one, and you got a lot. If I was to go there again, I'll have a small one, but I doubt it, because luckily for myself, there are many other eateries that are superior to Five Guys. I'm not trying to trigger anybody or anything like that, but my personal opinion is Five Guys is overpriced and you can find better elsewhere. So that's my little rant over and done with. Not much of a rant, I personally sort of agree. The next video I'll do will obviously be about aforementioned Babylon 5 book. Update to the pile of shame. I did slightly reduce the pile of shame, however I've expanded the pile of shame a bit more. I bought a Chaos Space Marine Combat Patrol. The main reason being is in April they're going to have their yearly price hike. Games Workshop are going to have it, and I would not, well, to be honest, when the combat patrols get to £100 plus, I mean, bearing in mind I paid £90. The only reason I paid £90, most discount retailers you can buy it for £80, is because I wasn't going to be in the next day, so I had it delivered the next day. So I paid £90 for 19 models. Now, that on its own does sound pretty crazy. I mean, once upon a time a combat patrol's about £50 and you've got about 30 plus models in the box. Now, I don't know what the, well, with Roundtree's Workshop as a Warhammer shop, if you want to call it, because they've rebranded themselves over to Warhammer now. The amount that you get in the box, if you bought it separately, yes, it would cost more money. Plus, also because I've got a word bearer's portion of my force, Hellbrute is coming close to completion. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. Also, I also got a Dark Apostle in here, so that would be fitting as to have a Dark Apostle leading a word bearer's force. It just writes itself, really. Also, they are, with the release of the Night Lords upgrade sprue, I may get that at some point those Night Lords upgrades, but it could lead to things like getting Iron Warriors upgrade sprues. The Night Lords has been done. The Word Bearers and the Alpha Legion having personalised sprues, so the iconography is a bit more clear, a little bit like the Dark Angel upgrade sprue for the Primaris Space Marines. It's a similar thing. It is a shame because once upon a time you'd get the hull models to actually make a squad of these things, whereas now you buy the upgrade thing but you still got to buy the squad separately. Now the latest version of Kill Team has brought out this particular, I don't know if they're on the horizon or they're out already, but you can buy a squad of Night Lords. It costs you a bit more because of the said sprue, but I probably would buy it, the same as the Creek Troopers that you can buy. There's also a Chaos Space Marine Kill Team which has got an upgrade sprue with some extra stuff that you don't normally get with Chaos Space Marines, which is a shame because making that as standard would have been much better, and you also get a chain gun autocannon with it, which is a cool weapon. It's I don't know if it's any better than a Reaper autocannon, correct me in the comments, but yes, I've more or less all my Word Bearers infantry, apart from the Dark Apostle, because I only got it this week, I've done, and now I'm starting to work on the Night Lords Raptors that I have, because I've had them for a while. I started them, but I sort of chickened out because I was trying to do things like all the little lightning lines and things. So those are going to be practice models for the squad of 10 Chaos Legionnaires, so that I can carry on with that. I've still kept my workspace pretty clean and tidy. Currently there are 5 to 6 models on there, including the aforementioned Hellbrute. It's just getting to a point where I'm happy with the Hellbrute, if that makes sense for all of you out there. Keeping things simple is good. I wouldn't, if you were starting out, I wouldn't go for the Tyranids or the Orcs or the Kroot, which have recently returned, come in the full plastic now, just because of batch painting. You have to paint a lot of models, and even with smaller forces like Chaos Space Marines, you still need a fair few models to field an army to play a game. At the moment I've got 26 models ready. The Hellbrute will be 27 models ready to actually play a game, but that would be a very small game. I've also got a Rhino which I've got to finish as well, but that's not on the table at the moment. As soon as the Hellbrute comes off, I'll probably try to finish the Chaos Rhino. It's mostly painted and everything ready to go. Just want to get to a point where I'm playing games, because obviously as much as it's fun to build and paint etc, it's also nice to actually play some games with them, just to find out how the guys run, as it were. This has been a generalised video about many different things, and I thank you for paying attention. There is one more last thing I'd like to talk about. I did do a video way back in summer last year about London Irish. Now it has come to a point, for those of you who do not know what London Irish is a rugby team that used to, before they got liquidated, play in the top tier of the rugby premiership. I have subsequently started supporting the amateur London Irish team, which are many leagues below, and the difference is night and day. I mean, these guys are amateurs, so they're not even professional. They try their best. They haven't done the greatest this season. I'd probably say they've had probably a 40% win ratio, so they're not the bottom, but they've just it's just a discipline issue. But then being amateurs, you know, it's they're playing out the goodness of their own hearts. Really, they're probably paying subs as well. I do intend to go and visit some games, but the difference between this and London Irish Professional was that London Irish Professional had a stadium. These guys, it's line side, so you'll get as close to the action as you possibly can be. And the one or two times I was going to go, it was bucketing it down with rain, and I don't really want to bring half of Sunbury on Thames back with me on public transport. I don't think many people would enjoy that. Anyway, I intend to keep making videos and make as many as possible. Thank you very much for spending the time. This is the longest video I've done to date, so see how YouTube moans in the algorithm about it being a feature-length video. The next video, as soon as it will be this week, as soon as I've finished reading, I've got about 40 pages left, then I will do a review video on this particular book. I'll leave that until the review. Anyway, again, as I said before, please like and subscribe, and I do enjoy reading your comments. Your comments are quite good. I do did appreciate the many people that have got piles of shame just like myself, and unfortunately it is part of the hobby. You get a pile of shame. I think even if you're the most astute painter and astute with only having maybe buying one squad at a time or something, unfortunately that pile of shame does grow. My pile of shame has grown just due to the price rise that's going to occur. But once again, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for your comments, as I do read all the comments I get. And please like and subscribe. This is 4046 out. Thank you for watching my 50th video.